We're live. Welcome everyone. I'm the Epic Party Guy, and this is Dyson Sphere. Today, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I don't do nearly enough planning as this game calls for. Where the heck am I anyway? Okay, it's been a little bit since I've played, so I don't. All right, what am I doing? A lot of graphene here, deuterium, and deuterium fuel rod production. That's interesting. Aha! Solar sails. Interesting. So, yeah, I'm at the point in this game where I need to get a, either a Dyson Sphere or a Dyson Swarm going and collect critical photons from it. And yeah, solar sails are a big start to that. So, all right. How many is this? This is... Ooh. Why do I not have any titanium alloy? The home planet and the silicon planet need... I'm going to need to see where I'm producing things from. Probably this... Why would it be the silicon planet? Should be on the titanium planet. To make titanium alloy, it should be made on titanium planet, right? You'd think so. Right? Right? Yeah. Oh, right. Well... Yeah. Well, stream, I am actually also joined today by the wonderfully gorgeous and witty, intelligent co-host, Darla Rosa. Welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me. Well, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
No comment. And how are you feeling this Labor Day weekend?
The surviving, the enduring, enjoying watching you create order from chaos.
I mean...
Or chaos from order.
I was about to say.
That sounds more up your alley.
It does. It actually does. So we have 96 assembling machines at, what is that? 3 every 12 seconds. That's 1 every 4. So 96 would be 24 per second.
Efficient.
24 per second. But then there's the proliferator adding 25%, and that means 24 plus, 5/4 of 24 is 30. So yeah, this is all making 1 belt worth of the deuterium fuel rods. Interesting. Assuming, I could possibly get titanium alloy, but I don't really need that right now. What's going on here? Okay. This I can deal with. And let's get some ejectors here. Yeah, because there's a little bit going on there. Because I'm guessing that last time I was looking at this, there was going to be the sphere/swarm here on this planet, and that's why. Too close to other layers here. Ah, dang it. See, normally you could use this to check if there is a planet that would be entirely encapsulated by the sphere or the swarm, because the key is the EM, not the EM ejectors, the ray receivers have to have line of sight to the sphere or the swarm.
Makes sense.
And if it's if it's fully encapsulated, then they all will always be facing the sphere in some direction, no matter where they are on the planet.
Encapsulating being the full word, the key word there.
Right, and I did not need to bring all 1,000. Oh, Lord. So let's get that. However, to get a swarm going, here. Oh, 45 degrees. Okay, so we designated the similar to a Dyson shell here, but to get a Dyson swarm going, let's have it at max radius so that it's just in case they change something in this. Sorry, and the way you would normally use this to tell if it's got a planet that it would encapsulate is you just run the slider there, and it will say, "Sorry, this is too close to a planetary orbit." But apparently not anymore. I don't know if that's been changed or not, but let's just do it this way. So,
rock with what's easiest in the moment.
yes.
This is the problem. I can never keep track of all of the different balls.
All the what?
All the different balls in the air.
Oh, okay.
You know what?
I do.
See, I'm over here living my best wholesome. Listen, I'm allowed to suggest I can be wholesome. Whether people believe it? That's for your viewers to decide.
Uh-huh.
I've only talked about cloaca twice.
Oh, hello, Godus the Almighty One. Welcome to the chat. Godus says totally wholesome.
Thank you. They get it.
Mm-hmm.
Wholesome, like a Playboy bunny or a sausage shooting ketchup onto a plate. You invite me into your daily life.
Okay, so here I am trying to be artistic, and you're over here trying to distract me. So I've got two opposing orbits like this, and these should be like rotated on their own thing. But we'll see where the solar sails go. Here.
This would be completely inaccurate, but
What's that?
I feel like the concept of a Dyson sphere is used a lot in
It is very wibbly wobbly. I will say that.
Specifically, for some reason, I associate it with kind of, I don't know if I would say horror, but sci-fi that is really dwelling on the fear of the unknown. I've not given full...
Maybe.
Yeah, I've not fully articulated that thought, but...
Oh, apparently these fractionators count as tall buildings. So, which apparently you can't have rail ejectors near tall buildings because, they're giant cannons. They're giant rail cannons. They're gigantic rail guns, is what I mean to be saying. And, you don't want them knocking into buildings for some reason.
How rude. A cannon's just a gun for an orc, when you really think about it.
A what?
A cannon is just a gun for an orc. It's just a little hand pistol. It's all relative, is all I'm saying. And yet you smile.
Why do I do this to myself?
I don't know, I'm cute and I have nice titties.
Well...
Ooh! Ooh, the wounds! The wounds! I mean, look, I'm pretty great.
You are. That is true.
Thank you.
Okay, how do they expect these to be powered if... I'm having trouble here. Apparently. Oh! Now, does a satellite... Okay, so there are four buildings,
Mm-hmm.
that deal with broadcasting power.
Yeah.
There are these Tesla towers.
Mm-hmm.
First thing you get, they cost barely anything, and they don't have any idle consumption. Then there are these wireless power towers that have less coverage of buildings and such that they power, but they can connect really, really far. And you can charge off of them.
Right.
Then you have wind turbines. Technically, they're a generator. However, they have an area that they broadcast over, and they're really good to use as long-distance coverage because it generates power as well as connecting.
No.
And then there are... Where is it? Here. Satellite substations.
Mm-hmm.
They have a very good connection length. Actually, longer than the wireless power tower. They have the longest connection length,
Mm-hmm.
and a very large, and a much larger supply area.
Okay, makes sense.
Because it's a ground-based building and a satellite.
Mm-hmm.
But it has an idle consumption of almost 3/4 megawatt.
Mm.
And I hate idle consumption like that. But I'm wondering if that's what is quote unquote expected to be used here because of the because the ejectors, I guess, could just ignore the satellites.
Cost-benefit analysis of the situation.
Yeah.
Is that the idle consumption worth testing it out potentially?
Right. I mean, but I don't. I don't like the, just frankly unnecessary cost.
Don't just like throwing resources at something for the sake of it.
Right.
Which, fair.
Okay. So, copy, paste, 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 paste. I know I just put these down, but I don't care. Oop, saving. What? Oh. When you find something that works, just stick with it. Apparently.
Well, sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes copy-paste is the solution, right? Insert tab A into slot B and rub vigorously.
Oh, grid crunch. God damn it. Because you have a square grid being put onto a sphere, it changes the topology.
Yep. It could kind of fuck you.
Now, there should be... Am I not using... or... Now, there is a mod that is just utterly fantastic. That should be... happening, and it's there you go. Railgun's retargeting. Why is it not working?
Gotta love when mods just don't mod anymore.
I know, right?
Actually had one in The Sims 4 recently. Due to an update, all of the doors and windows disappeared on all the buildings.
That's stupid.
Very stupid.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
like,
yeah. The latest change mod for the Railguns retargeting mod is to version 0.7. This is whatever. This is version 0.9.
Yeah, that's a little outdated.
Mm-hmm.
A little old.
What is this?
A little crusty.
Yeah. Let's see. There is another one. Another mod. Oh. Yeah, it says this is a simplified version as a temporary replacement. Okay. So yeah, they know that that the first one is not working, and that. Because see, the whole point of having multiple actually, I should be doing this on the inner planet there. Okay. Yep. All right. So I'm gonna pop in, pop out to let this to get those mods going. Be right back. Yeah, you logged in?
It's a Switch?
Hmm?
It's a Switch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to get it. Well, now it's like 3 minutes behind.
Weird.
Well, it wasn't connecting at all.
Oh.
Like, I had an issue where I have no clue what the Twitch app did. I had to wipe the cache and reinstall it.
Oh.
And it's just like, I would be in a chat, in a stream, and it just does this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, weird.
4 hours.
Yeah, I was having that problem with the app on my phone a little bit before as well.
But I could get it
someone-
to work in Chrome.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hooray! Someone wants to hire me.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to move.
I can't complain.
I mean, it is technically 20% more money, but that is, completely uprooting one's life. Why is it not starting?
Well, it's whether the potential benefit is worth jumping into a totally fresh start.
Yeah.
That's a big shift.
Sorry, technical difficulties. There we go. I had to bring up Task Manager to, threaten it with disciplinary action.
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Mm-hmm. It means that the computer needs to respect the chain of command.
Mm-hmm.
It's the chain I go get and beat them with until they do what I command.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus points to anyone in the chat who gets the reference.
As a kid, I used to sweet talk our computer. Just an off chance.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work that way.
No.
But I was like, I'd say I did that from the ages of like 5 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you never know when Toy Story or Littlest Toaster rules apply.
Okay. Yeah, alright, this is not handling the, what am I saying? Ooh, there we go. Now it's finally gotten into view. Yes, the first solar sails are firing! And I can actually see where the radius is. So, I'm going to set up ejectors on the central planet. Do not want... Oh, shoot. Oopsies. Kind of, sort of. Where... Yeah. Set that to launch those. Okay. All right. Oh, wow. That is way far out. Okay, so here we're seeing that it's being fired from all the way out here.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's going to... That. Not this one. I guess let's go to this one.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's a distance.
Yeah, and when it hits where it's designed to create a swarm, it stops firing and just enters this orbit. So that's the difference between the blue here and the orange here.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Oh, Godus the Almighty One says Firefly. Yes.
Huzzah!
Woo! See, I knew I attracted quality people to the stream.
Mm-hmm. Not that I'm biased at all.
What's that?
Not that I'm biased at all in a greeting.
See, I thought that it would try to land it like where the brightest point here is,
Mm-hmm.
but okay. Here, let's do 180. And then 135, biggest radius. Alright, go away. Come on. And yeah, 270, 45, big radius, add, 270, 135, big radius. Because the idea here is I want to always have a launch point for sails to be shot into.
Mm-hmm.
When we're on the original planet. So that's warp drive.
Ooh, torn between.
What's that?
I was torn between a brief Doctor Who reference and Star Trek and Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So a Sophie's choice of references, and I could choose none.
Oh my.
Too dark a reference? I'm genuinely asking.
Okay. So here we have good amount of lava right here. So let's pull in. Ooh, okay. Demand. That, okay. It wasn't showing, that's why. Whatever, okay. So we've got power generation coming in over here. What we need next is to plan out the ejectors. Now, if I remember right, yeah, that doesn't work. There we go. Does that work? But will it blend? No. It does not blend.
stuff that doesn't blend. Constant problem. What do you enjoy the most about resource management games?
What do I enjoy the most about it? I'd have to say, just
Sense of godhood.
no, not the sense of godhood. I get that plenty in life. I just, I know there's a psychologically interesting statement that I just randomly offered. No, it's the relatively quick sense of satisfaction when you get something right.
There's near instantaneous or obvious results.
Yes.
So immediate neurofeedback.
Yes.
Makes sense. There can be something deeply gratifying in seeing a plan come together, and
Right.
the resource management games do something that does not often happen in life, which is being able to
Things
step
actually
back.
work how you think.
Yeah. And the ability to step back and just say, okay, let's see if this works, and you see it work right in front of you versus something that's more subtle, subversive, years in the making.
Right.
Not to say that there's no satisfaction to be found in, just as an example, the novel that takes, 10 years to write. There's probably great satisfaction in it. But if you're able to crank out like 5 short stories and a novella in a year, different emotional experience.
Geothermal plants.
This is very random. I have always in my head had this idea. Well, it probably would feel great if you could survive. Like,
Yes, I would like to survive.
yes, optimal planning, survival. But the idea of being able to submerge in lava,
To submerge in lava.
like, in Zelda the Gorons,
Yeah.
like they do,
Yeah.
like conceptually.
I mean, it's like taking a mud bath, but it's like warmed up.
Yeah,
It's a mix between a mud bath and a sauna or a hot tub.
absolutely. Mud bath, sauna.
Uh-huh.
Always just had this little secret wish in the back of my mind. Man, I wish that was something I could do. I'm a weirdo, I know.
That's why I keep you around. Alright, so how much power is this actually? That is 128 megawatts. That is not bad at all. Like, it is really hard to get that much power.
It seems an efficient design from what I've gleaned of Dyson Sphere through watching you play it.
Mm. Okay, so grid crunch doesn't change things here, which means that going, and you be bringing in solar sails. Wait, what? Oh, God dang it.
Something wrong.
Yes.
Oh, no.
This is a pain in my ass. That's what's wrong.
Mm.
Yeah, so because of how tall the wireless power tower is, apparently, and how small the connection area is, you cannot use power towers to connect EM rails. They're really expecting you to use,
The satellites?
yeah. Oh, this might be better. I might have done a dumb.
Done and dumb?
I might have done a dumb.
Oh no. Is it a correctable dumb?
It is.
That's what counts. That is what counts.
So if I do that, have you just please plop, 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 plop. And, oh, that does work. Yeah, it was a dumb.
Which is often the refrain that comes with resource management games.
Yeah. Oh, I did a dumb.
I did a dumb. Did I do a dumb?
I did a dumb.
Will
Yeah.
a dumb be done? Yes. Yes, it
Oh,
will.
with me, if a dumb will be done is never a question. It is an inevitability.
Question of when, not if.
Yes.
But that's also just a human condition.
Yeah.
Until we can change it. One day.
Wait a minute.
I've been conducting experiments on you when I come over. What are you talking about? Stop asking.
Oh, it's just too short. Damn. Okay. I'm fine with overspending on these.
So are they just not able to connect at all?
No, I just need to basically put too many Tesla towers in order to make it like repeatable.
Feasible?
No, repeatable and
Oh,
therefore
okay.
looking nice. Rather than
Hot mess.
no, I don't want that one.
Still connected.
Okay. Oh wow. Oh, you can take a look. Take a look.
Ooh,
You can see the beginnings of the swarms.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, just you wait. Just you wait. But this does confirm that the largest that the swarms in the spheres can be made is inside the orbit of this planet.
Oh, okay.
So this will not be the like massive critical photon production that is needed. I'll have to find a different star for that.
The search continues.
Indeed. Okay, so Theta Telescopy 1 is orbiting the star at 0.814 astronomical units.
Mm-hmm.
Now, keep in mind the scale in the reality of Dyson sphere is much smaller.
Yeah.
So, like an astronomical unit in Dyson sphere is a lot smaller than an astronomical unit in, the real world.
Right.
So,
The real world's a different ball game.
yeah. Okay. Oh, yes. Look at it. Look at this.
It does look really cool. Like, very Stardusty.
Yes.
Yeah, Stardust.
Ooh. Not only that, but this is saying that I have enough power generation to double this. So, why not go way overboard?
Do the most. Go to the max.
To the max.
Sometimes I kind of miss that about the 90s.
Going to the max?
Yeah, and how
Oh, Lord.
how loud everything was.
Yeah, that's why we all have hearing loss now.
Yes. That is a factual statement. The number of times my parents and other family members have said to me, "Why are you so deaf?" And it's like, I don't know. Loud music's great.
Wow. I forget, how many do these do? 20 a minute. So it takes one every second, so we can have 90 of these on one belt. How many did I put out? 61. It should be fine. It'll be fine.
It always is.
Of course.
Sometimes, mostly, often,
Occasionally. Yeah, but what?
Pew, 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 pew.
Indeed. I mean, yeah, these haven't all filled up, so they're still absorbing, they're still inserting as many as possible until they stockpile. So that's why it's... Okay. Oh, jeez. I sometimes I keep forgetting how gorgeous this game is now and then.
Well, it certainly finds ways to remind you.
Yeah.
And honestly, it needs to be. It's the vast and near infinite powerfulness, awesomeness of the concept of space.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, and then you can go out and you can visit the Dyson swarms. And honestly, I think this is one of the first games where I didn't just skip this stage of things, and go straight to the spheres.
What led you to change your MO?
I don't know. I wanted to show it off.
That's a good reason.
Yeah.
It's very cool. It reminds me of Japanese lanterns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that. I mean, this is made by a Chinese company, so they would absolutely be exposed to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, that's also nifty. I can see. Oop, nope. Stop. Wrong button. Yeah, so the star itself is 0.63 AU. Because I've never really been able to, how much is a AU in this? I think it's 40 kilometers. Which is not far at all.
No, but I could see using that unit for
Yeah.
conceptualizing sake.
Yeah.
Oh God!
All right.
They're approaching.
What?
Making a bad invasion joke. Yeah, that's a fucking rat.
Yeah. Okay, and we have all of these stars to choose from. Got the home system right here.
Mm-hmm.
This one is where I've been expanding from, which is why you see all these vessels.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, this is definitely too far. Yeah, that's over an AU. I think it needs to be less than 0.6 AU. Ooh.
Was that one a better option?
No, this is saying 0.9.
Oh. Fudge nuts.
Yeah. That is a lot of resources, though. Anyway. There's, I have a mod that creates a spreadsheet of all the different planets, and I can use that to see which ones have the necessary
resources
orbit to see if they would be encapsulated. See, the retargeting mod is not perfect. Because, see, these are desperately trying to find.
Yeah. We don't know what to do. Help us. Help us.
Mm-hmm. Recalculating. So, oh, who's trying to catch me? Okay. Oh, hello, okay, I almost said Devonshire, but no, Devon is here. Welcome to the chat.
Understandable mistake at a glance.
Right. Okay, set you to kick those out. Free up my inventory here. Okay. While we are here, let's get some things just trickle being made. And what that means is so what that means is we're going to get some paving going. Are you kidding me? I don't have Grumble.
Rumble.
Yeah. I should be having way more foundation being made, but it's not. Okay, I just need to set up a factory for it, obviously.
Understandable solution. Do not have it created.
Yeah. Um, let's go down here to the. I wanted to do it in the um, equator, but it doesn't need that. Okay, so these things are ray receivers. What they do,
Receive rays.
they pull in. They pull in the gamma rays from the Dyson sphere, the Dyson swarm,
Mm-hmm.
and they either generate what's called critical photons, or they pull power directly from the Dyson sphere. And critical photons are then split into hydrogen and antimatter. And that's the only way that you get antimatter. And that is the resource that's needed for making the top level of science, the last stage of science.
Intriguing. There's something deeply depressing about that wording to me.
What?
The last stage of science. Like this. It's like, I'll find something new. I guess it comes with being someone who thrives on discovery, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, it is the final form of science, the final field of science in this game. Yeah.
I appreciate the effort.
Yeah, I tried.
It works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so because I have these ray receivers just next to the EM ejectors, that kind of gives us a visual check on how on when they'll be receiving, because that's when they're facing it, when the ejectors are firing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I've already overloaded it with pulling energy out of the swarm in the sphere, because it doesn't have it. I'm demanding like twice as much, apparently.
Oh.
So it doesn't take much. That's why you need so many solar sails and so many, such a Dyson shell. So. Oh. Probably. Oh, no. Mm-hmm. See, they're no longer facing it, so strength is dying. Yeah. All right. So, things to check on: the titanium alloy production and the foundation production. Let's head back home and check on those two things. Okay. Thought there would be a way to get into the traffic manager mod from there, but apparently not. Yeah, this is the science planet.
That makes sense.
Okay. Nope. There.
Seems like a substantial facility.
It is. It is. Now, why do I have it producing titanium alloy here, but I don't see anywhere that is, like, actually producing it? Okay, because it's not. Okay. Alright, let's go to the actual planet that's handling that. Now, you'd expect that the titanium alloy would be made on the titanium alloy planet. On the titanium planet. But apparently... Oh. Okay. That is not actually making it. That is... That was a, collection point for it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, because I had extra,
Mhm.
so I just made that there, dropped it in, threw it all in, and then said, all right, send, whenever this is requested, send, send a vessel full of it, and there was none remaining in it when I just checked on it, so.
The good news is it worked.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, so I am bottoming out on sulfuric acid production. That's the problem here. Which should not be a thing. I'm a little frustrated by. Yeah, and unfortunately I still have local mining and production here going on, so I still haven't torn up everything and torn up everything off the home planet and got it like what I would consider correct. sulfuric acid. Alright, so... Adonde. Oh! That's what... Okay, so I keep forgetting that I need to get my sulfuric acid production set up. Why?
Sort of an important thing, isn't it?
It is. It is a very important thing. But here's why. Because it's so stupidly simple to do once you're at the level I'm at. And that level is you find a planet that has a sulfuric acid ocean and you set up an F-ton of pumps. And that's all you need to do.
That seems like a good thing to do now.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that.
I feel like...
Let's do that, and then I'm gonna consult the eternal spreadsheets, and
the truest gods, the spreadsheets.
yes, indeed. Okay, done with that. Of course, the question is, okay. So consulting the master calculations. How much sulfuric acid do I need? The answer to that is, survey says, that's not on here. Because you don't need sulfuric acid for... Wait a minute, don't you? Yeah, you need sulfuric acid for the deuterium fuel rods. Because I have my total, goal production list of 12 belts of white science, 1 belt of rockets, and 3 belts of solar sails.
Yeah.
And 7 belts of fuel rods. I forget exactly why, but that's what I laid out. I'm trying to find where in here. There. Why? No, honey, I do need to know how much. Anyway, you can also mute productions of things so that you can see what everything else needs. But yeah, so according to this, I need 12 belts of sulfuric acid, and that is 412 pumps.
Oh. So, kind of having to work back to get to that point.
Yeah. Oh, and 412 pumps takes up like 130 megawatts. That's not bad at all.
Doable.
Yeah.
Sizable task.
Absolutely. It's just something that you need to do at this point in the game. The key thing here is that the veins utilization tech gives a mining speed bonus, and apparently mining speed and veins utilization also applies to pumps. I don't, whatever. I don't know.
I'm just gonna roll with it.
Yeah. So I actually don't need 412 at the moment. I need 275 because I just updated the calculator with my current mining speed. But if you get that even better, because once you get white science going, you can start doing the infinite levels of veins utilization. And that's really the final goal, is to get to like veins utilization. I forget what it was, like 167, I want to say. Some stupidly high number relatively, because the cost for each level doubles. So it's an exponential growth in cost.
Which, logically makes sense. Also sounds like a potential tremendous pain in the ass.
It is. But the reason that it's 167 or whatever. Wow. I have plenty of sleep. What's the problem there? Whatever.
You were up late.
with that mining speed bonus and the ore consumption per miner product, basically means that if you have a single vein, a single, not a single cluster, a single vein covered by a miner, it'll fill the highest level belt, the fastest belt, and you'll only it'll only drop the number in it by one every, I don't know, what's 0.94 to the 167th power is how much it reduces.
So in a way, it sort of balances out. Well, that was a poor way of wording that.
Yeah, so that's
Not so much
point. Okay, so for each one it produces, it reduces what's in the vein.
Right.
By, according to the calculator here, 0.0000325.
Okay.
So it is effectively infinite. Because you're not going to be running the game that long.
Yeah.
If it will last longer than the lifespan of your computer hardware, it's infinite.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. By default, by the relativeness of our corporeal beings.
Yeah, so, I mean, normally, I don't even know what the veins normally have, like 10,000 or something. Let's say it does. That means that this would, you inverse that. That's what? 307 million from that one vein.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so from the one to make sure I'm understanding.
Yeah. And each cluster has like 10, 11, 12, 16.
That's useful.
Yeah.
Very useful.
Like, my home planet here apparently has 92 of those veins.
Oh.
Yeah. Just the one planet.
Effectively infinite.
Effectively infinite. 152 in the home star system. 615 just in iron in the next star over. It's infinite. You're not gonna run out.
You're not gonna run out.
So, I mean, you're limited by the output belt speed. So, anyway, yeah, I just need to tear down like 80% of the home planet and rebuild with the. That is the extreme tactic to get your planet organized.
What is the middle ground?
Just sectioning it out and being like, yeah.
Bit by bit, part by part.
Yeah. Inch by inch, Niagara Falls.
Never change. Never change. Never change.
Okay, so load up with 300. I'm being called for to make someone food. Would you be amazing and assist
I can
assist the kiddo with that? Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
I appreciate you.
Do you?
I do. Where am I going for sulfuric
I
acid?
grill a burger, so it's not pink on the inside.
What?
Mostly.
You? On a burger?
Impossible burger.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, like, vegetarian. I thought, okay.
Hello.
Okay.
Are you getting food too?
There we go. I think this is
Did you get me
the...
anything?
This one here is the closest with the sulfuric acid ocean.
All the bad things.
Let's take a look.
I like those things.
Donde. Oh, right there. Ooh, but it's got very little ocean space. Yeah, sulfuric acid, but construction area 99.2%. Not really worth it to go over there.
Hello.
So,
Somebody took my seat.
that's there, that's there. Oh, that one's a little close.
Hey. Paisley.
Alright, yeah, where's this? 8 light years. What's this? 8 light years. But no sulfuric acid. Here we go, sulfuric acid. I mean, like 8 light years. Let's take a look. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Oh no. Okay, so because this one is like 0.34 AU, I'm going to want to cover it in ray receivers and have that just be pumping out. You know, I really shouldn't use that gesture for that, but it should be pumping out critical photons. Now, was there only one? I think there was only one. There. I mean, it is a problem that it's less than 1.0 luminosity, but not that big of a problem. And note to myself to put the ray receivers there.
Alright, good corner. Good stay. I give up. Where your priorities lie. Okay. I got all the ingredients. First step. Make this not
See, a little less on that, but okay. It's a little easier to power because of the solar. Shame you can't, more easily do power from planet to planet. But alright, let us consult the Book of Armaments. No. There we go. Documents. Where to go? Yeah. So this one is, and I'll switch over the window so that you guys can see what I'm seeing. When it comes up, there it is. And it's not letting me switch the window. Dang. Alright. Let me... Oh! It just pops up. Okay, then. Sorry about that, guys. Alright. There's my face. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what those are, but oh look. Alright, so let us conduct Excel wizardry. We are looking for sulfuric acid. This is already sorted. What's this sorted on? I don't think it is. But the coordinates here, 0, 0, 0, is the home planet. And let's see, this squared plus this squared plus this squared is the distance. It's not just that awesome. It would help if I actually knew what the fuck I was doing. I mean, in terms of just determining which is better, which is ranked, you know, whatever. Which is to sort by closeness. You don't need to do the square root, but if you're gonna do a thing, let's do it right. Okay. So this is sort of based on that. Closest is Nihal. What's the next thing that we want? We want land percentage. Okay, so it's all pretty bad. Okay. Where are we looking? 98.5. Just do this. Screw it, we'll do it live. 98.54, 54, 54, 98.24. I think if you're within 98 anything, you're good. Oh, wow. I think this one is also the lowest. 98.0, and that's Acrox. That's where we were just looking. Ah, oh, man. Yeah, wind speed, luminosity. Yeah, this does not have... Yeah, Acrox is where... Yeah, Acrox is where I wanted the ray receivers. And that's more important. Is it? Here we'll also do it. Okay. Jeez. I think I don't really need the gas giant mark just yet, or anymore. Alright. So here's where I will be laying down. Laying down the pumps. I mean, do I need to stock up on anything? I need to replenish. No, I can't think of anything. I mean, I might want to see if the satellite substations are better for the rate for the ejectors, but I don't know. Yeah, we should be fine. Oh. You know what I do need? One, two, three, four, five, six. 45 of them. I don't need that many. So now I have enough drones and vessels and stations for 20 stations. What? Ah, come on. I'm in the middle of this. Go. Thank you. So, do I need anything else? Oh, what? No. Simple as that. Oh. Sit back, enjoy the flight, arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Yes. And here we are. Alright. And we have, instead of an ocean, looks like we have scattered lakes. Which is a little disappointing, but this is one of the only places. This is the place with the most sulfuric acid available. So, let's get pumping. And you know, now that I think about it, um, having a lot of lakes means you have a lot of. Um, Dang it! I didn't grab any foundation. Okay. Having a lot of lakes means you have a lot of shoreline. Which is exactly what pumps need. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. This is not going great. Oh, this is so arbitrary. Of course, I don't need to do all of these pumps on one planet, on the same planet. It just makes it a lot easier if I do. There we go. Little bit of sneakiness there. Come on. And one more. One more. I can do one more here. I'm sure of it. Sure of it. You cannot at all. Oh. There we go. Wow. 3. Okay. And I don't know who wrote the music for this, but they did not need to go this hard. And they did. it's just like, mwah. Anything? 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 No. Okay. So hard to find the shoreline at times.
Sausages.
Of course. More than happy for you to put as much sausage as you can. To have as much sausage, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I was like, put it where? You're on the street.
I mean, it's relatively late. We are not after the watershed hours. I should not say that.
It's a holiday weekend, so I think it starts earlier.
Oh, good lord. See, another reason why I didn't do the sulfuric acid just yet, I kind of loathe putting out pumps. Because it's got to be like a few squares on the land and a few squares in the liquid, and it doesn't really. I want to say it's not intuitive of how much needs to be
like whenever
either.
I've seen you do this, I've seen you get very frustrated with
Yeah.
the fact that it isn't very clear where the boundaries are from one topographic shape to the next.
Yeah. Because you'd think that only the very end there, where the pipes are, should be in the water. Or should be in the liquid. But no. No, it has to be difficult. Me? Salty? No. I forget. Yeah. When you get back. But no, I forget the exact circumstances around it, but I was watching someone else's stream, and they had a heckler who was just obviously, like, jealous that this person was doing well in the game or something. And in some brief burst of horrible wittiness and sanity, well, no, wittiness and insanity, I should say, I made the joke of, wow, of all the flavors of jelly available, why would he choose to be salty?
I like that one.
Oh my god.
Very insistent.
Very. I almost wish that we never trained them to use the bells at the door to be let out.
Because of the insistency at times.
Yeah, but it's alright. Thank you. They have us very well trained with that.
Yeah. When you train them, they train you.
Yep. I forget who came up with that. You know. But it rings a bell.
I can't remember. I know I bastardized it for a little bit. It couldn't have been Caesar Milan. It was older.
I don't know.
But it's one of those quotes that gets repeated so much it just exists in the ether.
Right. You know, a really interesting instance of that I heard about or read. No, that I read about is the trope of the butler did it.
I recently read about that
Yes,
too.
we probably saw the same thing. Where the first time that you see evidence of it is in someone pointing out how cliche it is 6 years before the oldest existing use of it. It's like 1920s it was complained about. 1930s is the oldest example of it that we still have. It's crazy that
it's become such a thing, and really, did it ever really exist?
Well, apparently that's just how long butlers have been doing it, so.
Well, the idea, particularly in Victorian England, of the untrustworthy help we let into our lives was a very present fear for them, particularly in a society that really genuinely believed, your class and place in society determines your criminality.
That's it. That's all the pumps.
Yeah.
Woo! 300 of them. Ooh. Should have pulled in more.
So much pumping.
You know I'm good for it.
Ooh, baby. Threaten me with a good time.
I don't think there's any threatening going on, or any implying. I mean, there's been
follow through.
And clear examples, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, jeez. Now I got it.
Yeah, you make me feel good in my mouth.
I do? Yes. I take
That was a really weird line to just suddenly key in on.
I mean, it took me a second. I was like, what have I done? And I was like, oh, wait, yeah.
Puppies.
I'm glad they came out well. And the seasoning was good. Awesome. Can never go wrong with garlic powder and black pepper.
Puppies, play nice with your sibling. That'll be fine. It'll be fine.
All the sulfuric acid.
Yes. Yeah, because I was trying to make sure that I would have enough availability in the station if I did 3 pumps per port, and I do.
So will that be a relatively stable production amount for a while? Or will you shortly after have to increase?
No, this is intended to be the final amount that I will need for a good while.
I assume so. Just one clarification.
Yeah.
That's a squiggly one. That was my favorite. That's personality.
Well, gotta straighten that thing out.
Conformity. You shameless conformist.
Indeed.
I feel like that's not something you hear often.
Me? No.
There's a thought.
What's that?
Had a sort of thought cascade of very loosely related ideas.
Okay.
Oh, it's very nonsensical. I had the thought, even though I just ate that sausage, I really want sushi. You know, I wonder if there's a resource management game based on fishing.
I mean, probably.
I would say it's probably something I never played, but then I used to play Railroads. Sid Meier's Railroads had a lot of depth. Yes and no. Yes and no. It was fun. It was fun.
Okay.
I mean, the great expansion of the American Railroad was a very important point in history. Wow.
You could. Okay. Puppies. No.
Who
Enough.
wants dog food for dinner?
Jeez.
Are you hungry?
Are you judging me for enjoying railroads?
No. I'm
It's
absolutely
dinner
not. I'm totally just, contemplating the validity of any future opinions of yours.
Wow. Wow. The wound. It is deep within my soul. I am unmoored, unarmored, and unmasked. Listen, it's a great game in that it is all about supply lines and competition. And I was never that great at it because parts of it didn't really make any sense.
Okay. It doesn't matter because I wasn't good at it. Is not a good defense.
I mean, okay. I wasn't good at it because of how my brain would problem solve. Building rail lines is not what the game would allow you to do. So you'd end up in these situations where, like, Pittsburgh would be full of just trains going. Well, there goes my.
Wow, how did the trains do that?
Well, they kind of did. They kind of run into each other and stop. They wouldn't crash. They would just run into each other and stop. And they'd be like, "You have a supply line issue." It's like, well, these are supposed to just expand into one massive railway, but it just sometimes wouldn't. The conditions of which I never quite understood. That, and it would just kind of decide it wouldn't carry wood or silver to a certain place because other places needed it more, almost. Fucking socialist altruism. Honestly, it was probably because I built faster, and then the actual production amounts would keep up with, which is always my problem.
I have a similar problem here in that I expand faster than my energy production will address, will factor in, will be able to handle.
And the expansions can be great ideas, functional ideas, if not for the whole resource issue.
If only, if only things would work as we want them to, not how they do.
Ain't that always a problem?
Yeah.
But then again, how we want them to isn't always in our best interest.
Details.
Very true. I'm tired of learning life lessons.
What am I even doing here? What am I even doing with my life? That's a good question. That would be... What's best? What is best in life? I know you have some... I know you know what I'm going for. What is best in life?
I'm trying to remember the exact wording. Oh my gosh. To crush our enemies, to see them kneel before us, and no, oh my gosh.
To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women.
I didn't appropriately Arnold it.
Correct. That is true. You do not. But it's okay. I forgive you.
How? How can you forgive such crimes?
That is true. That is true. Never mind.
Wow.
I mean, that's what you were going for, right?
But yeah, that's fine.
Oh, are you?
I'll make you forget about
Are you butt hurt about it. He kept saying but.
Sure, I'm butthurt about it.
Maybe later.
Nice.
Thank you.
I didn't set you up for that one. You took that one. You dove into that one.
Maybe.
I guess the appropriate response is like a zombie baby later too. We really can't go anywhere. We're just dirty fucking human beings.
Yep, we are. We are. Don't ever change.
Oh gosh, it's already 8.
Yeah. Today was really quick. I don't even know how. There we go.
They expand, they grow.
Indeed.
Into the space.
Remember, the factory must grow. That is just a horrendous meme from the Factorio days. And by horrendous, I mean amazing. So,
well, it's nice, that nice blend of quotable and cultish.
yes. Yes.
I have a group chat with my college friends, and one of them is in Portland.
Okay. My condolences.
His wallet thanks you. But he was walking around and took a picture of this sign on a post. To the asshole that smashed my car window, you owe me a car window. That's about $400. How do you intend to pay for it?
Yeah, not happening.
Not happening. But just the fact that they needed to say something and needed people to know. I love it.
That is a human need, to be heard, to be seen.
Very true.
You know?
But usually, people just like yell and cuss but this person didn't just say they were an asshole. They broke it down. You owe me a car window. It's about $400. How do you intend to pay for it?
in blood.
I mean, I'd accept that payment. I'm not sure other people do.
Yeah, MasterCard and Visa don't process that just yet.
I mean, MasterCard and Visa barely want to process corn. I don't know why I called it corn.
I mean, that's when the farmers get involved. That's what it's called when the farmers get involved, yeah.
What are you working on? Just some corn business.
And there we go.
Connection established.
Maybe, except that's the wrong number.
Oh.
There's something missing here. Something not yet. There it is. Yeah, there is something zen about this game. I know I've said that before, but
Everything's true.
yeah.
Well, it's like a Zen garden itself.
Mm-hmm.
The meticulousness and the orderliness of it allow you to be mindful. Trimming a bonsai, arranging the sand. Creates order from chaos. And accept the chaos that interrupts. Begrudgingly.
See, the problem is, whenever someone tells me about, mentions arranging the sand, like at a Zen retreat or something, it just reminds me of a scene from a show where there were come on. There we go. Where they were showing how this how to phrase it. A couple found a place for a surreptitious romantic retreat within the Zen retreat. And there were patterns in the sand.
Well, that there's a butt print.
Yep.
Look at this. They have the Kama Sutra in sand.
Well then.
It's like, oh, this is not Zen at all.
Oh, it was.
I mean, for them.
Very Zen.
For them, very Zen. For everyone else, not as much.
Yeah. Yep.
Honestly, I have never found the idea of intimacy upon a beach super enticing.
Well, no, sand gets everywhere. I mean, sorry to
Anakin it.
Yeah, sorry to Anakin it, but I don't like sand. It's coarse and it's rough and it gets everywhere.
Nobody wants to be like walking around with sand in their beehole. Well, I should say no one. There's something out there for everyone.
Yep.
I don't know. That doesn't necessarily sound
really doesn't.
A rousing, romantic. You know, all these like romance novels and movies love that. Tossing sad.
Well, I mean, there was, one of the big romantic movies, one of the big romantic classical movies had that scene on the beach where, like, they're, passionately, rolling around in the surf, and it's, amazing, and I kind of feel like, that's what was being referenced without people really, like, thinking it through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like, Kama Sutra was written by aesthetics who did not need or really have the inclination, possibly, to put what they were writing into practice. So, it was, alright, so here's some possible ways that the human body can bend. Let's just say this works.
The body can theoretically do this.
Yeah.
Which... theory and reality, very different things.
Yes.
As unfortunately I can attest to.
Oh my.
I say I'm flexible and I'm not, unfortunately.
But you are amenable.
I am very amenable.
That part was true.
That part indeed is true. Can't go anywhere.
Why would we want to?
I mean, there's stuff. Food. I'll go anywhere for food. Oh, almost anywhere.
I was about to say.
I mean, if there was a really good seafood buffet in hell, I'd consider it. If they're like,
Lord.
oh, okay, you're in limbo for now. You gotta pick heaven, hell. Heaven, super nice. Get laid every day. But there is a really nice all-you-can-eat buffet in hell, and it's really good. Like 3 Michelin stars, several James Beard awards, and quite frankly, it's good enough where not even the devil will deny you access.
I don't know. Don't think I would be sold on that.
I think I consider heavily. I'd have to think about it. Especially if they're like, we're just gonna walk you through. I'm gonna give you a brief tour of hell like they do with a timeshare.
It reminds me of a joke where guy gets sent to hell.
Mm-hmm.
And the devil leads him through the different possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes and he sees people with standing in excrement up to their knees.
Mm.
And they're being chained down, and it says no, not this one. And next one, people are hung upside down into excrement, just like on these giant pulleys of being like lowered in, pulled out, lowered in, pulled out.
Like a corn dog.
Yeah. And the last one, there's a bunch of people just standing around drinking coffee in excrement. The guy says, I have to pick between the 3? Yeah. Okay, well, I'll take the 3rd one. Sure. All right, get in there. All right. All right, everyone. Coffee breaks over.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I have so badly mangled it, I'm sure, but
But you got the point.
Yeah.
The point of it. myself full of. Shut up. Shut up. You know what? You filthy heathen.
Yes.
Filthy
Yes,
heathen.
I am. How did you know?
Oh. How long have we known each other?
Uh-huh. Oh, Lord.
I was gonna say it for some reason. What are you thinking? From ice cream sundae.
Friendly's Ice Cream Sundae. Any particular reason why?
I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's the tail end of summer, and I associate ice cream sundaes with summer.
Maybe.
Or maybe you've just stimulated my sweet tooth.
How would I have stimulated that?
Because you're just so sweet.
Okay, I was wondering if you were going to go for that.
Oh, I could be
Oh.
positively diabetes causing us a little. But I'll spare you.
Since when?
I spare you all the time. Usually, mostly. Do not assume that I have no restraints.
What? Don't assume you have no restraint. Whoever said I needed to assume? I have seen.
Look. I didn't come here to be called out. But for the record, you ain't never complained.
This is true. Oh my Lord. Somehow, this is the life I've endangered myself with.
Endangered?
Yes.
I'd like to think of it as gifted. You've given yourself a gift. And that includes me. I want viewers to see my hand on their shoulder. I am the greatest gift.
Is that like Frozone's wife? I kind of got pretty strong Frozone's wife vibes from that right now.
Is that a bad thing?
I mean, it's got one or two implications that we haven't negotiated yet.
Jesus Christ, okay.
Just putting that out there. And I think you would agree. We have indeed not discussed all that.
No.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. See, I am not inviting greater implications.
What?
I am not inviting additional implications. I am just saying I am a gift to the world, to you.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty amazing.
That is true.
Now remind me I said that when I'm cripplingly depressed.
In crippling depression. Got it.
Either works.
Cripplingly depressed. There you go.
Yes. I've been having trouble with words recently.
Have you gotten a neurological scan?
He
He said, suddenly getting real.
You know what?
I do.
It'll be fine. No, I don't think I told you. I went to the doctor the other day, and my blood pressure was like 192.
Ooh.
Yeah.
192 over what?
110.
Ooh, honey.
Yeah.
That is not okay.
Yeah. I need to fix that.
A little bit. A little bit.
Like the nurse was like, wait, no, this cannot be correct, and like redid it 3 times, and like mild changes. Like, no.
Yeah, but okay, if they make a big deal of it, then you're gonna get worried, which is gonna make make
Yeah.
it worse.
Well, I was there. I meditated. They did the rest of the exam.
Uh-huh.
I meditated some more. They did it once more, and it was like still like 170 something. And it's like, okay, this is technically
That's a
better.
problem.
Yeah.
That is what is typically called in the scientific community or in the medical community a problem.
Yeah. I apparently am very stressed.
Hanging out with me? Why would you ever be?
You know what? I would legitimately be very interested to see what my blood pressure is. Because I feel like it's probably like an actual normal person's blood pressure, except for when.
Except for when what? Around me?
Well,
Oh.
part of it.
Oh. I mean, we do have that here somewhere. We do have
Blood pressure.
yeah. Yeah, we'll look for it later.
I have one at home. I gave it to my mom because I've had high blood pressure before due to finals in undergrad.
That is
That
a
did it.
legit cause, yeah.
Oh, I also started grinding my teeth. It was like my life will never be the same after this. I've experienced new things. This is what all that debt was for. New experiences.
Yeah, but there is a little bit of you kind of literally invited that.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, like, that was honestly the most annoying part. The drive to put oneself in intentionally stressful situations. In a way, isn't that what gaming is when you think about it?
A little bit, yeah.
I'm going to put myself in a... What's the word I'm looking for? The phrase I'm looking for. The equivalent of like...
Mental exercise.
Yeah, mental exercise, a situation in which I've put imagined value, and I'm going to judge, most likely myself, by my performance.
I mean, why?
But it's fun.
Yeah, that's true.
So would school be fun if, you know, it's a little less stressful. Especially even with the stress, it was still kind of fun. But I'm in a hurry. In terms of random gaming related things, I went and have been playing back through the alpha of Baldur's Gate 3
Oh yeah.
since they added bards,
Okay.
because I love playing a bard.
Okay.
And I don't know if the class is a bit broken or if I just picked the best possible build, non-combat wise.
Okay.
'Cause in the game, they do actual dice rolls
Uh-huh.
for like different checks and whatnot. So you get bonuses of having the skills, but you know, roll the dice.
Right.
There have been 3 fails I can count that I've experienced out of the dozens that have happened so far. Just because my character is a persuasive, deceptive bard. Like, her skills apparently are maybe maxed a little higher than they should be, or more beneficial than they should be.
Okay. Well.
What is an interesting... it's an interesting experience because it's kind of nice.
To be overpowered.
Yeah. And overpowered specifically with a character that is based on social ability.
So, you know, being fantasy fulfillment.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I
Gotcha.
love my fighting characters. But there's something especially, you know, delicious about. I just told a bull-faced lie and nobody questioned it. Just because I'm not charismatic.
I mean, the main thing for charisma is confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me on that.
You know, I believe it. I believe it. Something about you makes me believe everything you say. The power of confidence. Now sign up for this webinar.
And you too can learn the secrets.
No lie, I kind of want to go into just doing like a side hustle of just webinars for random shit. People make steady
I mean,
income.
yeah, people make good money with that. Then again, people make good money with you know, conspiracy theories and
Yeah.
you know, con games.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I made good money with con games.
They're hard and they're stressful. Like, I don't lie often, but when I do, it's so.
You do it with Dos Equis.
I do. It makes a difference. That's why I'm the most interesting woman in the world.
Uh-huh. There you go.
But yeah, having to keep all the little details correct.
See, that's why I don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Generally,
That's.
I don't want to try to remember all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to try to remember who I've told what to, and you know, that bullshit.
It's a thing.
Oh, everyone alive? All right.
I
But
played
yeah,
the
it's
fifth.
mentally exhausting to try to remember, you know,
Mm-hmm.
all that.
You can't even remember which partner you've told what joke to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got him. I was a duck.
I don't care if people dunk on me. I don't play basketball. Oh, was that a devastating human insult. You're devastated now.
No, I mean, I'm having weird sweets cravings of someone going, ooh, you know what else is good for dunking? Dunkaroos, cookies and milk. And the other part of my brain like, you chunky bitch. Why do we go here? Why do we take this left at Albuquerque?
Speaking of Albuquerque,
Mm-hmm.
of course, now I'm thinking of the Weird Al movie that's coming out.
Oh. I've been seeing images from it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very intrigued. I don't know, what are your thoughts on
it's wow. I mean, I am entirely way too much into Weird Al that any person not sexually attracted to him should be. You know,
it? That's a measuring stick.
that is technically a measuring stick.
Acceptable. Too much for a non-sexually attractive humanoid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if I was a little older, I'd be thinking the same thing of Dr. Demento, and if I was a little more musically aware, I'd be thinking the same thing of Richard Cheese. And if I wasn't aware of it until later, I'd be thinking the same thing about Bo Burnham. But I absolutely find, comedy music to be effing hilarious, and that's just what I go for. So
You know what you like.
I do. And you know better than to complain about the things I like, because you're one of them.
True enough. I mean, I guess I just have to accept you have good taste. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of which, I have a question for you after Scream.
Uh-oh.
Not a bad question. Just
Okay.
I'm likely to forget.
If you say so. Last one. Okay. Because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is why I try to only do this once. Because this is bull right here.
Having to build all of the structure for this one thing.
I mean,
It's more
it's
than
all
one
the
thing.
structure for this one thing, but this is the only time per run that it needs to be done, you know,
So why not get it done kind of
all at once.
Yeah. So have a bunch of tedious small tasks, one sizable,
One
but
super annoying one, yeah. Come on. All right. There and there. There and there. All right. I think I'm good on this for now, even though I should make it a belt, you know? Actually, no. That is not what I should do at all. Here's what I should do. I have... I have a blueprint for this for a reason.
Make it easier on yourself.
Theoretically, if I remembered to use it.
Aye, there's the rub.
Alright. Where? Anyway. Yeah, because see, you'll do well, sorry, you'll do well to have solar panels and wind turbines all around, all around in like a belt around a planet, but that's also prime construction area. Whereas with what I've done is I've filled the polar caps with solar panels, so that no matter how it's spinning around, there should be a constant level that is drawing.
Very smart strategy. I thought that's what you were doing. You can see as a player being the first thought being wrap it around the planet. That makes sense, right? But it's like there's the top and bottom of a sphere.
Yeah. And like what I see on the other planets where I've done this on is there's a line that goes through, a cord that cuts across through the circle, that rotates around the pole, because that's just the side that has zero ability to see the sun. Alright, so to make foundation, of which I will need to make it. It's 3 stone brick to 1 steel, 1 unit of steel. So it should be done on the planet that makes stone brick, where there are facilities to produce stone brick. And it's 3 plus 1 to 1 in 1. So that means 3 belts of stone brick, 1 belt of steel, but all going in, 1 belt of foundation coming out. Yeah, see here's the cord that's cutting through the sphere, the circle,
Yeah.
and it's gonna rotate around like that. Yeah, and the poles aren't actually great locations for the solar panels, in that each one is going to be a pretty low production, or relatively low production. It won't capture the full capability of where the planet is. But this is horrible location to build anything else, really, because you got so much grid crunch going on.
It also sounds like it's a question to consistency. You're not necessarily using them in their most optimal position. There's a consistent production,
Right.
which might, I'd assume, has more value.
Yeah, and once you get the scale of production on making solar panels like I have here, whether you're making 3 times as many for the same consistent production, but it's consistent production of power,
Mm-hmm.
and not using prime real estate, that's
Right.
worth it.
Yeah. It just makes more sense when you consider the benefits to
Right.
cost ratio.
Yeah, it's, we're not doing a speed run where, the fewer elements that we can put down, the better.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing any kind of limited run where, okay, I need to make the most out of every single piece of silicon and copper and iron that I'm producing. So. Oh wow! You can see the cord slowly moving here.
Mm.
There are some planets that are like really, really rapid spinning.
Yeah, you
I
showed me
wanna-
a few of those.
Yeah, that
Like,
where it actually is a little nauseating, a little,
it's like, oh, this feels like a teacup, right?
a little bit, and yeah. All right, so I do not need to put down any more, collecting from any more pumps. I think they're all maxed out. Yeah, they have stopped being. Okay. And yeah, I'm at theoretical max of local planet. Almost 3. Yeah, I would say 300 or 250, just because I haven't hooked up everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then whatever, and then the crap that is this one. And I have a complete overall, the entire system, the entire star cluster demand of 100. So I'm already doubling the production of what I need, so I've got room to grow.
Yeah. It's smart planning.
I mean, it's why you do it all at once. Yeah, you can see, actually here, titanium alloy, sulfuric acid, and Deuteron fuel rods. Okay, I don't need these. I don't need to know these. Yeah, see right here. So here's 10-hour scale.
Mm-hmm.
Right here is where I started putting down more pumps.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that the titanium alloy production
Yeah.
spiked up to that. Because right here
Yeah.
is where all of this was producing, but it was using the stockpile.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got limited based on the production of the sulfuric acid. But here is where that all came into its own. You see here, the production of Deuteron fuel rods.
Mm-hmm. Big change there.
Yeah. I always forget what I have already. What is this? Okay, this is leading up to particle containers, but I'm fine. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Well. So we've got sulfuric acid
Mm-hmm.
in the bag
Woo.
for now.
There'll be peace in the quadrant for now.
For now. Here we go.
Neat. Reminds me of, what are those things? Neutron?
Atoms?
Atoms?
You're a bit tired, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, but there is a I'm blanking on the exact name of it, but there. Orient to north and then spin around. This right here, this animation
Mm-hmm.
Good chipping.
is, I think it's called a Lasoon or Jasoon, or I am blanking on the name. Anyone in chat who knows, let me know. Okay.
Such a beautiful balance.
Okay, so I've got about half a gigawatt of electrical production going on this planet that I'm not using.
Mm-hmm.
So I should use those, and I think in between sessions, in between streams, I'll go through and drop a bunch of miners on these mining machines, and mistakes. Ah, that was a mistake. Okay. Here, here, here. You. Pull it in. Thank you. This was a mistake right here. Okay. Oh, I see that. That one's the problem. Yeah, so this will help with titanium production. This will help with... Because titanium, it takes 2 titanium ore to 1 titanium ingot.
Okay.
And so whenever you're going to have more than just a little bit of titanium mining going on a planet, you should smelt on site. Everything else that is 1-to-1, and sorry, that holds true with both titanium and silicon. Silicon is 2-to-1, titanium is 2-to-1. And graphite, if you ever need that, is also 2-to-1. Everything else is, for the most part, 1-to-1. And it doesn't matter where you go for that, because you're moving the same amount. Like, you can hold 1,000 items per vessel.
But the movement and the exchange rate, so to speak.
Right. Oh, I messed this up. Alright. Oh no. That was a mistake.
Oh no.
Oh no, 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 no. It is hilarious that you can juggle.
Just in general, in the concept of juggling.
No, that you can juggle things on the... Oh, Lord. Okay. What a mess. There we go. Okay. Yeah.
What did we do it?
Again. Yeah. There we go. That's better.
Improved?
Workable. I'm not going to say improved.
Fair enough.
Oh my. What was the decision that made you think that? Because you just said yeah. You just said you should not make decisions when you are tired, so that leads to the obvious question
So,
of what decision so enlightened you.
I'll just drop 150 on some clothes. That seems like a fine, reasonable thing.
What?
Yeah.
Honey.
I know. I'm responsible with my money. Usually. With some exception. Food.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Those are the exceptions. Those are the exceptions. I admit it, but I don't. And occasionally I splurge on clothes. And I realize, you know what? This is terrible. I did a mental exercise of, if this particular individual were to message me for a booty call, would I most likely say yes? It's like, and I thought about it, I was like, yes, then I shouldn't be making decisions when I'm tired.
Uh-huh.
$150-ish on clothes. Not like a smart decision.
Yep.
Especially since I had to spend like $100 something on that bridesmaid dress.
Mm.
And it was cute. It was cute in costume, so I'm not gonna say it was like totally uncalled for, but
Uh-huh.
better to be wise with a penny.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we are just about at the 3-hour mark here. So I think I'm going to call it here. So what have we done? We've crossed off sulfuric acid. We've got a little bit of critical photon production. We need to get the Dirac equation process going, which is this right here, which splits the photons into hydrogen and antimatter. And it really doesn't matter where we do that, because normally I'd say we need to do that where the antimatter is going to be consumed and where the hydrogen is going to be consumed, but the hydrogen there is a waste product.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to burn that as much as possible. So this needs to be done on an out-of-the-way planet where you can burn hydrogen and have that be as little of a contribution to the energy budget as possible, if that makes sense. I don't think that makes sense.
Not
Basic.
right.
So stupidly, frustratingly, somehow, you have where it basically takes all the renewables first,
Right.
and it throttles down the consumables
Mm-hmm.
as the energy budget demands. So more or less, I mean, so it'll pull. So the things that are just it triggers for a set amount of time, that will trigger for a set amount of time and output that power.
Mm-hmm.
But the thermal plants, the fusion plants, and the artificial stars. So the things that consume chemical, the things that consume fusion, and the things that consume antimatter fuel rods, those get throttled. So if you don't have, if your renewables, if your wind turbines and solar panels and such, and geothermal produce everything you need, it's not going to consume any hydrogen. And the point here is that we want to consume hydrogen. So the way to do that is to keep your consumption up and the amount of renewables down.
Interesting.
Yeah. Consumables in this case, because what you can also do is charge up batteries.
Right.
They're actually called accumulators. Charge up accumulators with this, so that any excess energy production gets shunted into accumulators. Then those accumulators could be ferried around.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you want accumulator production and renewable production, wind turbines and such. When accumulator production, accumulator energy production,
Mm-hmm.
wind turbines and solar panels and geothermal to be at minimum 10% of your budget. Why?
Makes sense.
Because anything less than that and it shuts down. If
The
you
balance is entirely thrown off.
well, if you produce less than 10% of what your system is demanding, then it's overloaded and things stop working.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Inserters just shut down, factories just shut down, whatever. It doesn't run. It'll run at a crawl, it doesn't run.
Mm-hmm.
Which causes what's called a power death spiral. Because the slower the inserters run,
Yeah.
the slower they move fuel into these generators,
Mm-hmm.
and so you get less fuel, and so the inserters move even slower, and get less fuel and less power, so on and so on, until things just grind to a halt. But if you have that 10% of renewables,
Mm-hmm.
so it takes no extra energy input to create power from it,
Right.
then you're able to have everything run just at a crawl. So that if the problem is your fuel production
Mm-hmm.
is gone, then all it needs is a new shipment of the fuel to come in and it'll come in, and even if it's at a crawl, they'll very slowly move it over into the generators, which will eventually bump up the power satisfaction from 10% to 12% to 14%, whatever, and they'll go faster and faster and faster until you're back in business.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, which is why it's frustrating that sometimes frustrating that those generators don't run just they're fed by belts. It's frustrating that they are not fed by belts, because if everything that's fed by inserters will die through that death spiral.
Mm-hmm.
But the things that the charged accumulators charge do not. Those are fed by belts,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore you just need a new shipment of charged accumulators,
Mm-hmm.
and you're back in business eventually. But that is overall power design, infrastructure design.
Sensible.
Moving along. What we need to do next is I think I've got enough resources at the moment. I just need to get the infrastructure going for actually moving along those critical photons into antimatter into white science into closing out the tech tree, getting all these lovely new techs that I'm currently really interested to see in action, especially these, where this doubles the storage of. No, this is even further capacity in stations and vessels. It's not doubling it, but it is another step or two of it.
Mm-hmm.
But also you get faster research, you get that veins utilization I was telling you about, but also how many construction drones, how fast your construction drones are, that's all under white science. How much energy you can store. I mean, personally, I try to get one of each at minimum of the infinites, just because they basically, it's a step above, you know? Anyway, that's just me. These 3 lakes are throwing off the
beautiful symmetry.
symmetry and how constant it is. There's going to be more variation if one of the
Ooh.
poles is missing, but it's not that important. Especially since, because of the tilt of the planet here, the planet obliquity here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the tilt? No, the orbit inclination. Between the orbit inclination and the planet obliquity, the two polar caps will not have equal sunlight anyway. Anyway, but that's for next time. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. And until next time, keep on partying.